through what open source software is, and I'm going to share with you all about it and how you can get a software product that will help solve your technology needs, be available to you that you can expand on it to change for your ever-changing needs, plus it's free. So first of all, we're going to go through a couple definitions. Software. What is it? Does anybody here know what software is? Can you give a brief definition of what software is? Something you use on a computer, exactly. It's programs, procedures, rules written to operate a computer system. So we use software in everything, from our phones that we carry around, to the kiosks we use at the airport, to the computer systems that we use at our desk and writing our little documents. And even this agenda was put on, being by software. The next definition is open source. Open source is software where the source code is freely available. Now I'm going to actually give you another definition. Source code. Source code is all the things behind the scene of a program, a software program, that tells the computer, tells the hardware what to do, and it interacts with you. That is the source code. And open source ties in with the source code because it's freely given. So what's available, you might say, in open source software? Well, there's office productivity software. There's operating system. That's what runs your whole computer. Content management systems. You'll see these on a lot of websites where they have a lot of different data displayed to you, and you'll go see it. And even healthcare management software. And then business process software. So a lot of software that you can use individually on your own computer, or you can use it enterprise-wide. And there has been a movement where enterprises are picking up and using open source software a lot more. 230,000 plus software projects on one website alone. That's what is available to us. As far as, that's just the small one website, and there's plenty more around. So you may ask, who is developing these? Well, you may have one developer out in Alpharetta who's coding away on his computer, or you may have a whole group in an organization that works together to create this software and bundle it all up and hand it off to everybody. Now, you have the software developers coding and working on the software, and you may wonder who is working on that software, who's paying the software. All right, so I think are we back online over there?
No, we're not getting.
So, all right. Well, so who is paying the software? Developers. And so there's some that they'll work for free, and they just do it because they love the technology. They want to develop and code, and some is they pay someone to do custom development. They have a base software, and they want something to fit their specific needs. So they'll pay a developer to get that in there. There's also people are getting paid for implementation services, as well as corporate donations to get these developed. Some of the key factors before you use an open source software, either at home or in your enterprise, is how difficult is it to implement and use. One of the things, it's not commercially developed, so it's a group of developers who hand that software off, and you can use that software, but you need to know how to implement it. And that's where, when I talked about the services, someone would come and install it for you, and you'd pay for those services. How active is the project? You don't want to get someone who's dilettante who's working on the program and use their code. So you need to see how active it is. How many people are developing it? Are the forums being updated with questions, comments, and are there revisions being made? And what changes are needed in order to fit your process? And you have to look at how it's developed and what you're looking to use it for. And does it fit in? Does it fit in with your other software that you have, your other the pieces of hardware you're using? And can we expand? That's the one thing that open source software is good for is to allow you to expand. And you got to make sure that you can extract the data out of there and move it to another place if needed. So we can give it a try. Anybody heard of Mozilla Firefox? That is a web browser that is very popular that people use to browse the internet. And what it's done is that browser alone, people have downloaded it, and that's propelled Microsoft and others to enhance their products, as well as offer something for free. And there's even OpenOffice.org, which allows you to create documents and create Word documents, so you don't have to outlay the money for Microsoft Office. And many of your websites are delivered to you guys from here. So if you want more information on what open source software is, and if you want to try some open source software, you can go to opensource.org. That's a governing body that tells everybody how it's worked and kind of puts some parameters around the open source community. OpenOffice.org is the office productivity software that we can all go home and download today and try it out. OpenSourceCMS.org gives you a number of different open source websites that you can look at and even have someone implement if you're not technically savvy. SourceForge and Firefox, as I talked about. So all these are available to you, to me, and it's all to make our life easier and to give us the freedom of not having to pay for the software and the flexibility to modify the software as we see fit. Madam Toastmaster.